A wise man said, "If I have seen far enough, it's because I have been standing on the shoulder of those that have gone ahead of me." Welcome to Aanu's Growth Series, episode 20. That is worth listening to. Today, I'm going to be talking about the law of mentorship. The law of mentorship. This is one of the most important topics of my life. We are talking about 30 lessons I've learned before 30. If I could, anyway, I've come this far. Number one, I attribute it to God. Number two, I attribute it to the people God has put my way. One thing mentorship does is it shows you possibilities. That's just it. But let's dive in. Your future is already speaking to you through the voices that you listen to today, whether you like it or not. The question also is not that you will be mentored. The question is, who's going to be your mentor? Because right now, there are people who have influence over your life. It could be your friends, it could be your classmates, it could be your colleagues, right? It could be anything. It could be anyone around you, right? And that's what we should keep in mind, because your life is actually a reflection of the voices around you. If the voices around you are quite negative, then you would be hearing negative voices. Your life will be tending towards a negative direction. If the voices around you are positive, then you are in luck. Everyone wants growth, but everyone wants to grow alone. Growth is not a solo journey. Growth is a guided one. Go look at everyone that has made an impact in life. They have made an impact because they had someone guiding them. And that's what I want us to keep in our mind today. Mentorship is not optional. No, it's not optional. People around you, their habits are forming your habits. Their attitudes are forming your attitudes. Go study yourself a bit and get on movies, Netflix or so. If you watch movies where they speak a whole lot of curse words and you watch it consistently for like 2 weeks, you realize that just immediately after, you would start thinking of speaking curse words, the F word and the likes, because you've heard it consistently. That's another thing, the power of media. People's standards quietly shape your own. If someone tells you, oh no, it's not possible to climb this mountain, the person has not climbed it, so your mind will just be, it's not possible to climb the mountain. Social media, oh my God, that's too much. There's a reason why these guys are called influencers. They literally influence you and your environment as well. Unfortunately, if you are below 30, there is a possibility that you cannot do much about your environment, but you can shape your environment by listening to the right things, by connecting to the right people. If you don't choose your mentors, life will assign one to you. You don't want life to assign, because again, life is usually a life of comfort, right? So you don't want life to assign one to you. You want to be ahead of the curve. What's the power of voices? The voices that you hear shapes your belief system and inspires your action, and then you would see the result. Let me give you a quick example. When I was in Nigeria, I used to attend Goshen. As a younger person, I just graduated from the university. I was living in a room, apartment. We call it self-contained. I don't know what it's called here in this part of the world. And I used to attend Goshen. Then Bishop David Abioye was the one pastoring. And we're in church that day, and he said, when he was growing up, that people used to build churches for 20 years, 30 years. But now in this commission, buildings grow like trees. And just like that, it was just like something opened my mind, something opened my inspiration. And what came to my mind was, yes, I don't need to spend the whole time of the world to build my own house. Long story short, the house that we lived in Abuja before we moved to Canada, it was built in 4 months. I think I have a link to the testimony. Maybe if I want to do some paparazzi, I'll add it to this video. I had to make a testimony out of it. The house, a full house from ground up to the roof, to plastering, to the compound, was built in 4 months, and it was debt free because I heard the things that were possible in the Winners Commission. So you don't rise above the voices around you. Your environment is not the background voice. Your environment is the architect of your future. Because I had gone around possibilities. If you go to Winners, you know that a lot of things are possible. You would know that there are a lot of people who come in as unassuming, but just in a couple of time, days, weeks, months, boom, they hit something, they hit the word, they have their matching order. Before you know it, they are doing well, they are making waves in their lives. I can think about being an innovator today because I have seen a lot of innovators around me. Anyways, because I want this to be very short, what is mentorship? Mentorship is not admiration. No. That, oh, I like this person. No. Mentorship is not you choosing a model. No. Mentorship goes far beyond you following someone or liking their content. It is more demanding. It is you choosing somebody that you are voluntarily giving the power to influence your life, regardless of your own desires. That's mentorship. Mentorship literally means you choosing who you want to obey. You look at someone, you see what they do, you see how they are growing in life, and you decide or you desire to be like them. That is mentorship. That is mentorship. You are not mentored by who you admire, you are mentored by who you obey. In your mentors, when you're dealing with your mentors, you have to study how they think, understand their framework, because everyone has a framework. I have mentors. You have to align with their discipline. There are habits that help them to produce their results, and that is what you want to tap into. You want to get into their cookbook, right? You are looking for a mentor that is doing well in their marriage. You are tapping into their cookbook. You are tapping into their playbook. You want to see how they have done in their marriage 23 years, 24 years, 25 years. And you are married 3 years and you already feel like, what have I gotten myself into? You want to learn what habits they've made to produce their results. Then you want to apply what they tell you, because knowledge without obedience is just entertainment. You are just listening to stories, because these mentors have a lot of stories, right? So if you are not trying to listen to them, that means you are going to them just because you love their stories. But no, that's not going to be very beneficial for you. Let's talk about the 3 types of mentors that you need. No single person can cover every area of your life. You need to have a mentoring ecosystem. I have mentors. I don't have one mentor for everything. Pastor Sam Adeyemi is my mentor. Pastor Smith Olabi is my mentor. I have mentors. I have parents, right? I have career mentors. When I wanted to leave the United Nations to come to Canada, I was blessed to meet someone, I'm sure you would be surprised to hear me talking about his name, who was at that point the deputy, I think he was the head of program, like deputy ambassador from Canada to the country I was working then. And I went to meet him. He happened to be Nigerian born, and I told him, oh, I have this plan to move to Canada. It's so daunting, it's so challenging, it's so scary. And he sat with me and he told me all of the benefits of leaving the United Nations, which was like heaven to me then, right? Just so you know, God had already told me to leave the job and go to Canada, but I was scared. So I still needed to hear a voice of possibilities. He sat with me, he told me all of the things that I would benefit. He gave me a roadmap. He even introduced me to a couple of people to make life easy for me, to make things even easier, because when you move to a new country, it's always a different ball game. We couldn't get a house. He stood for me, not as a guarantor, as a co-signer of the house. That means he was saying that even if Aanu doesn't get to pay his rent, I will pay. I've been so blessed by mentors around me. His name is Mr. Julius Egbeyemi. I call him the ambassador. He's an amazing person. How many years later, we're in Canada and we're doing well? Just because I was able to speak to someone, listen to them, make a plan, and possibilities were the end result. I do have another mentor. I feel like I should mention their names. His name is Mr. Bayo Ariyo. When we got to Canada and Canada started Canadaing us, I was so tired, I was so stressed and everything. And he was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "My plans for Canada are not working." He said, "Are you not a project manager? If you're a project manager, you don't expect a project to succeed at the first try. That's why there's always a plan A, plan B, plan C. So if your plan A doesn't work, move to plan B. If your plan B doesn't work, move to plan C until you get to plan Z. At least one of them will work." And that was all I needed. And boom, we started moving. And here we are today. We've gotten our own house. We're doing well, everything. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't have these mentors around you, you'll probably not be able to do well as you ought to. 3 types of mentors you need. The spiritual mentor provides direction with God, right? Moral grounding, purpose beyond material. You go to your mentor, you say you want to buy a car. They will ask you why. Bishop Oyedepo, I think it was Bishop Oyedepo that said they wanted to buy an aircraft one time. He mentioned it to his mentor. His mentor said no, and he didn't buy it. He didn't buy it. So spiritual mentor, because they would see things you are not seeing. Sometimes we may be guided by acts of our flesh. That's why most times before I take a major decision, I just took a major decision, I had to go sit with my mentor and explain to him all of the reasons why I should take that decision I'm taking. Anyways, professional mentor. I wish when it comes to mentorship, I have a lot of stories. I think this will have another part. There's this other, I call him my father. I don't want to mention his name. When I was planning of moving from an emergency non-family duty station to a family duty station, I went to him and he was open with me about his own experience. And he told me he lost money. He even told me how much money he lost. He said, think about it very well, but family is priority. Not just professional mentor, it's a mentor in every other area. And then there's the life mentor which guides your decisions, your relationships, the daily wisdom that school never taught you. One person cannot mentor your entire life. Let's move faster. I think we'll come back to this. The danger of wrong voices. Wrong guidance doesn't just slow you down, it sends you in the wrong direction. And like Bishop Oyedepo will always say, the fact that you are going fast in the wrong direction does not mean you will get to your destination. I was watching SWAT yesterday and they said, let's remember, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You don't have to go fast. You just have to be going in the right direction. You can still be lost even if you are going fast. Wrong guidance is the wrong direction, wrong result. Right guidance, even if it's slow progress, will take you towards your destination. Speed is useless if direction is wrong. Finally, while I wrap up, how do you choose your mentors? Number 1, be intentional. Not every loud voice deserves your attention. At this point of your life, if you are below 30, I'd like to tell you, be intentional about the mentors that you want. Like I said, you should have a spiritual mentor, professional mentor, and life mentor. Look for their results and how consistent the results has been. Not a one-man wonder. No, they must have had progressive growth over time. Look for character. Are they who they say they are? Not do as I say, not do as I do, right? Look for character. Look for consistency. Have they always, the results you have seen in their lives, has it been consistent? And the results you have seen since you have started working with them, has it been consistent? Avoid loud noise, loud opinions without a track record. No. Avoid popularity. Followers don't equal wisdom. And avoid empty motivation, inspiration without application. Don't follow noise, follow integrity. As I bring this to a close, think about a time when the right guidance changed everything. I have millions of them, right guidance, or a time that you lacked it and paid the price. I have a couple of them as well, because that reveals this law of mentorship in action. Your mentor is your future in preview form. Your future. Just look at if you want to see your future, look at who your mentor is. Who corrects you determines how far you go. You don't rise above your guidance. The ceiling of your mentors become the ceiling of your potential. That's why you should follow mentors that have unlimited thoughts, unlimited mindset, because that's going to really help you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for coming to today's episode. I always say I don't want it to be long, then it ends up becoming long. But thank you so much. I appreciate that you stayed all through. I'll see you in the next episode, episode 21, episode 22. But until then, thank you for watching Aanu's Growth Series. Bye-bye.